How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Hicks, your resident film nerd of HorseshoeHuddle.com, and of course, your favorite co-host over at the Locked On Colts podcast. We are back with yet another film session breakdown here on the channel, talking all about Laiatu Latu. Now, I didn't originally plan to do back-to-back weeks of Latu on this channel, but I feel like I needed a follow-up episode considering what last week's episode was about and considering how well he played this past Sunday. So if you guys missed the episode last week, make sure you're going to my channel last week and checking out that video. But basically the premise of that video was Laiatu Latu's playing some decent football, but the reason why we're not seeing his impact on Sundays match the analytics is because he's winning late in his rushes. He's winning after the 2.5 second mark, and he's a little slow with his get off, and that's what's leading to the discrepancy between how fans are viewing Latu and how these analytical sites are viewing him. But then Sunday comes around against the Los Angeles Rams, and albeit the Rams are a pretty poor pass blocking team, but right tackle Rob Havenstein is a pretty good player. I think Alaric Johnson at the left tackle position is a pretty solid player as well. And we saw Laiatu Latu's best game of his career. Not only was it rewarded in the box score, I think he would finish the day with 9 pressures, 3 QB hits, and a sack on the day. But he also had a 35% pass rush win rate according to Pro Football Focus, which is just nuts. But also we felt his impact on Sunday. We felt him impacting plays. We felt him getting in the pocket and making things happen for the Colts. So I would say this was his best career game thus far in the NFL, and hopefully he can build on this, but I do think that he certainly deserved a follow-up video considering what the premise of that video was last week and then how well he just played in this past game. So we're going to dive into a couple of his best pass rushes from the weekend. And the big thing I really want to talk about in this one is how effective he was when the opposing offensive tackle jump setted him. Now, a jump set we talk about all the time on this channel when I do the Mac and Sawviz videos, but a jump set is when the offensive tackle is essentially run blocking. They're going to be pitter-pattering those feet out there, get out to that defensive player that's their assignment. They're going to close that gap and get on them in a hurry. So we're going to see here on this first clip, that's exactly what happens. They're selling this run fake, and this offensive tackle is getting on Latu quickly and is able to close that gap on him. Now, typically, when you have a player like Latu, who his biggest issue is his play strength and his physicality, this would swallow up the run right here. This would swallow up the pass rush right here. I mean, we see it with Gonsalves every week we talk about him. But one thing I really want to highlight with Laiatu Latu is he was really, really effective with his hands in this one. So look what his hand positioning here. You're going to see my little drawings on here. But look at that hand positioning. That hand positioning is exactly where you want it to be. It's on the outside of that shoulder. And with it on the outside of the shoulder, he's in prime position to stack and shed this offensive tackle. Offensive tackle actually has his hands pretty good inside here, but Latu is able to use his hands on the outside of the shoulder to work around, get to the quarterback, and nearly disrupt this. Actually, he does disrupt this pass, but nearly make a game-changing play on this pass. So when we get back to the video, again, he gets those arms over there because of where that left hand was on the outside shoulder, works around, bends the corner really well. This is good bend by Latu. He's working around that corner very effectively and flattening that rush, not coming out too wide and not letting the offensive tackle drive him outside. He's flattening that rush to the quarterback, getting downhill in a hurry, and as a result, he comes just inches away from a game-changing play. Look at that. Look how close. I mean, we're talking a game of inches here. He was so close to a game-changing play for the Colts on the first drive of the game. And even with him missing the ball there, look, Nick Cross is, 3 yards short of making an interception here. So Latu being impactful on the first drive of the game. We get to the next play on, I think this is on the second drive for the Rams. And again, we're getting that jump set. Look at the jump set here from the offensive tackle. Offensive tackle is pitter-pattering those feet forward, getting on him in a hurry, those hands wide. And the offensive tackle, we saw what happened last time, right? He got beat to the outside, and Latu was able to flatten the corner and get right there on the quarterback. So Havenstein, being a veteran offensive tackle, is expecting a similar plan of attack from Latu, even with the chip here. So there's chip help on Latu, and that doesn't really change a thing here. So he's expecting Latu to work that hand over and get around the outside. And Latu does a really good job of working. Like, I mean, look how quick this move is here. This is a great counter to have where, again, he's about to bring that hand over. You can tell with the way he's leaning that he's selling that right hand coming back over the top to work to the outside. Havenstein is bracing for it, and then he works the hands off and comes back inside, dips the shoulder, breaks inside, and does a really good job of replacing this here, where Grover Stewart is now taking that outside lane to contain Stafford to the pocket. He's replacing as that inside rusher. Really good connective team rushing here by these two players, and as a result, they're able to just close that ground on Stafford and get the sack on this, or get the near sack on this play. I think this was another one where he got the ball out. But as we see too, the ball bounces up in the air, another potential chance for an interception for the Colts that just didn't happen on that play. But fantastic rush from Latu, again, from a jump set from the opposing offensive tackle. We're getting to the next play here, and Latu is actually on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He's actually going against Alaric Johnson on this play, and we'll see where this is actually going to be more of an angle set. It gets a little bit vertical. It's kind of a weird set by the offensive tackle because he just kind of it's not the strongest footwork there, but a little bit more of an angle set because he's got the chip help to the outside. Latu does a good job of getting around the chip and works up, and then we're going to get that cross chop. So a cross chop move is Latu's specialty from college. I talked to Latu, I think, halfway through his rookie year last year, and he talked about the cross chop being one of his go-to moves. But basically with the cross chop, you're bringing this outside hand down on that outside, on that left arm here if you're going against the left tackle, and you're going to punch that arm down as you basically Euro step around them, and then you're going to dip around the corner as you break that outside arm. So basically that outside arm is there to stop your dip around the corner. Your right hand is used to smack that arm down as you're dipping. It's a fantastic move if you can get the timing right. It takes a long time for players to really master this kind of rush. I mean, Yannick Ngakoue was known for this, and it took him a long time to really get there. But Laiatu Latu executes it perfectly here. Punches that arm down as he's turning the corner, is able to get around the outside. And again, if this ball was held for another quarter of a second, this is another sack for Latu on the play. He's able to make contact with Stafford on the outside. So a fantastic rush there against more of that angle set, or I guess you can kind of call that a vertical set, kind of a weird one. This is definitely, again, more of an angle set. We're getting that dish pocket here from the Rams offensive line. And Latu is going to go a bit of a change up here. We're not going to get the full-on cross chop or just kind of him using his hands here. We're going to go bull rush here. Now, this is near the end of a very long drive, and Latu is certainly tired on this. There was a lot of hurry-up offense on this drive, so Latu is just going to go for that bull rush, collapse the pocket. Does a really good job with where he gets his hands on this rush. I really like what he's doing with his hand. Like, again, that left hand is perfectly on that inside part of the shoulder there, and he's able to drive this offensive tackle back into the hip of Matthew Stafford. So when Stafford slides up in the pocket, when Stafford has nowhere to go with this football, we see that Latu is able to finish on the play and get that sack, his first sack of the season, hopefully the first of many this year. But we get to the next clip here. We're getting another angle set from this Los Angeles Rams offensive line, and Latu does a really good job on the blitz, understanding that he can get a little bit wider here because a lot of this blitz is coming up to the inside. So if we play the full clip here, we see the blitz is coming the interior. It's actually unblocked on the interior. So if we see, like from this point, for instance, right, we're going to get this free rusher here because they're not accounting for him. Running back is picking up the outside guy. It's a pretty bad blitz pickup by this running back, actually. And Latu knows that he can stay a little bit more to the outside as a result because we're not really going to have a quarterback stepping up against the blitz. That's where Buckner is. You don't want to step up into Buckner. So Latu can bring this rush a bit wider than he normally will. And as a result, he's able to win with this cross chop again to the outside. So again, cross chop, right hand down, boom, around the corner, able to turn there and get a little bit of a nick on the quarterback as Zaire Franklin. They kind of meet up at the quarterback there. Going to this next one, again, we're getting back to just destroying these jump sets. Rob Havenstein was having a rough time with these jump sets against Laiatu Latu. Again, I think Havenstein approaches these fairly well outside of what his hands are doing here. So, I mean, look, pitter-patter out, getting on the defensive end I don't know what we're doing with these hands here, though, Rob. These hands are not great. But Latu does a great job of getting his right hand inside the chest frame of the offensive tackle that is trying to get out there on him. And as a result, he's able to control what is going on. So again, he gets his left hand on the outside, right hand inside. And from here, he just has the offensive tackle at his mercy. As we saw earlier, Havenstein has to not only protect against the outside like swim move or working around and bending the corner and flattening the rush, but he also has to react to maybe Latu throwing that changeup back to the inside again like he did earlier. So this is just a tough position for Havenstein to be in, especially with this being a two-way go now because of how just steep this jump set angle is. I think it's great that the Colts were able to get these isolated situations for Latu because Latu really made the Rams pay. And when we're doing this under center play action, I mean, Havenstein is left on an island against a good pass rusher, and Latu's able to turn that corner, get around there, and just nearly affect the pass yet again. The sidearm from Stafford gets the ball out in space, and they're able to get a first down. But another good, effective rush by Latu. And then one more rush here to close it out. Latu is, again, going to face that jump set. Now, again, Havenstein, it's kind of a weird jump set because he gets out there and closes that space, pitter-patters out, and then he starts to retreat. I think I don't like that personally. I don't really know what Havenstein's doing with this. Like, if you're going to do the jump set, commit. And as we see here is because of this like halfway commitment that Havenstein does, it gives Latu that two-way go that I just talked about in the last clip, right? So this two-way go, look at all the space he has to the inside and space to the outside. So Latu has the full range of his arsenal at his disposal here. He can go inside, he can go out, he can really do whatever he wants as a rusher, and he takes that opportunity to go inside. And it's a really quick hand move there by Latu, gets to the interior, and is able to force Stafford out of the pocket, and that's exactly what the Colts want, right? Like, Stafford, fantastic quarterback, but at this age, he's not someone who's going to make a bunch of plays outside the pocket. So he gets on the move, but Mekhi Blackmon's able to get the sack on the play as Stafford runs out of bounds. So overall, I mean, we're going to run some of these clips again here. It was just a really effective day by Laiatu Latu. I thought he was impactful in both the run and the pass game, but in particular in the pass game, he made the Rams pay for giving him two-way goes. He killed jump sets all game long, but we even saw the cross chop come out on some of these angle sets and vertical sets. So yeah, this is everything we wanted to see from Laiatu Latu all season, and it finally looks like it's coming to fruition here. We had some great matchups coming up too against some backup offensive tackles with the Raiders and with the Chargers, having a bunch of backup offensive tackles against the Colts. So I think Latu has a great chance to build on this fantastic performance and really emerge as that year 2 breakout player for the team. So for all the people, including myself, who said, "Where's Latu?" last week, well, there he is. Here is Laiatu Latu making an impact on Sunday, and he was vital for the Colts' almost victory against a very good Los Angeles Rams team.